It is Friday night. It's time for some Straight Talk. This is your host, Matt Hasley, coming at you. Another episode of Straight Talk. We have a lot of stuff coming at you tonight. We have new information into the death of Justice Antonin Scalia. Also, we have viral videos, several viral videos coming out. One has got to just piss you off when you hear it. We're going to play that video here shortly. But just stuff that'll just make your skin crawl to think that people are like they are. Also, we got new election coverage. What's going on? Up to date. Talk about Apple. All kinds of things. Gun talk. Stay with us. We'll be back here shortly.
Mom, can you bake me some cookies for school today?
Finally. As a mother, I want to share about St. Julian's macaroons. I am concerned about my child's health, so I pack for his lunchbox, and after school, I give him St. Julian's macaroons as a healthy alternative to many of the store-bought cookies. There are no preservatives and only 100 calories, and he really likes them. So find them in the freezer section at your local supermarket or order online today at www.macaroons.com.
Hey, Joe Rocks, it's Louis Avis, straight from Chi-Town. Call and talk about our website, www.hotsaucevault.com. We got everything you can think of out there, Joe. The hottest hot sauce is not for wimps, mild, medium sauces. We got barbecue sauces, snacks, some of our gift ideas and gag gifts, so you can go out and check us out at www.hotsaucevault.com. Hope to talk to you again on your radio show. Kick-ass show. Had a great time last week. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care, Joe. hotsaucevault.com.
If you're looking to reward, celebrate, recognize, or advertise, get help from the pros at Creative Marketing. Custom imprinted products to give that event a lasting impression. Log on to Creative Marketing on Facebook and click the Call Us button. With over 700,000 products, we're sure to find what is right for you. Remember, think Creative Marketing for all your adware needs.
Are you hangry? Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
Route 106 Motors has been practicing the same simple philosophy of low prices for over decades, and it has brought us great success. Recently, while other dealers are closing their doors, Route 106 Motors is expanding. We are a wholesale dealer, and we own the property and pay cash for all the vehicles. This allows us to sell to the consumer for a lot less than the average dealership. We are a high-volume, small-profit dealer, and we pass the savings on to you. New changes have been made at Route 106 Motors. Stop by and check out our brand new building. Route 106 Motors, located at 569 West Street. Check our website at route106motors.com and be sure to like us on Facebook to find out about all the latest deals and savings opportunities. route106motors.com.
Hey everyone, I want to tell you all about an amazing salon. Joyce's, located at 132 Ferry Street in Everett, Massachusetts. Joyce's specializes in the latest techniques in coloring, styling, cutting, and beach waves. Joyce's features Sukesha all-natural nutrient products and organic color. Joyce's full-service spa and salon, located at 132 Ferry Street, Everett, Massachusetts. 617-387-6688. Specializing in you.
Tune in every Monday and Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Straight Talk with Matt Hasley. Live audio on TuneIn Radio and Spreaker.com. Plus live video on Ustream.tv. From the demented minds at ArmedRadioGlobal.com.
Well, as we said earlier, welcome to Straight Talk. If you'd like to interact with the show, you can do so multiple ways. We got Facebook and Twitter. Make sure my tweet deck's up here. Just hashtag a tweet, Arm Radio. I'll see it pop up on the tweet deck. You can also do is call me live at 1-866-225-5401. Hopefully, I got... I think everybody is streaming at my house tonight. I got my youngest son has a buddy over. They're working on a science project, which they're not working on a science project. And then my older son has 3 buddies over, and they're I guess, I don't know if you would say they're gaming or pissing off my dog. So, it takes a little bit more bandwidth to run all of it. And since today we had winds up to 60 mile an hour winds today, playing havoc with our internet here at the house. It's at work today, it was blowing the doors open, which our doors don't generally come open at all. The one door is hard to even pull. People think it's locked all the time. And the wind was sucking it open. It was crazy. But before I get started, I want to talk about Antonin Scalia's death. But I want to talk about, if you've come across it, if you got any kids. My son come home yesterday, and he had he's 10. He's in 4th grade. And he had 2 math problems. That's all they told me he had to do. They marked off the other ones he didn't have to do. And the problem was 258 divided by 6. Well, I did it in my head. Bing. Not saying he's going to do it in his head, of course. And, as you get a little older, you can do it. So I'm sitting there, and I say, okay, let's work out the math problem. So I help him divide it out. And we step through it, and I go step by step. He does it, and he does it perfect. So he leaves the scratch paper over here. He goes to do the problem on his paper, and they got to show their work when they do it. So I said, what are you doing? He goes, I'm still doing that problem. So about 5 minutes later, what are you doing? He goes, I'm still doing that problem. And I'm like, what? So I look at the paper in this Common Core math, as you want to call it. I have no clue what psychotic individual tried to come up with this math system, but it's turning people into retards. I mean, it's crazy. You could take 258 divided by 6 and do it in your head. I mean, you got 25 for the first 2 numbers. 6 goes in there 4 times, 24, carry a 1 down, carry the 8 down. 6 times 3 is 18, 43. I mean, it's that easy. But he's got to show this work. And even when you show your work, it takes only a small amount of space. Well, they got this 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times, and I'm like going, what the heck is this going on here? He goes, well, this is how they tell us we have to do it. And so I looked it up online to see how they do this Common Core math. And I'm looking at it going, why is our educational system trying to teach people this? They're giving people wrong grade or incorrect or marking their problems wrong, as I would like to say, when they these kids need to be taught realistic math that they're going to use when they get older. Of course, I use, like percentages and fractions and stuff like that. But, I mean, I told my wife, and my wife goes, and she got all irritated with me. She goes, no, you didn't try to teach him how to do it in his head, did you? And I'm like, no, because he has to show his work. But I was just kind of blown away that they're trying to teach these kids this Common Core math, and they're turning them into essentially idiots where they can't do math. I mean, you look at kids nowadays, and they get there, and they're working in a part-time job, like at a grocery store, or it could be anywhere where they have to run a cash register and make change, and they can't make change because they can't think in their head. They have to do is times everything out, by broken down parts of the problem. It's funny. You walk into I shouldn't say funny. It's odd. That's what I'm saying is, I don't mean funny, haha. Funny is in odd. And it's actually sad to see these kids who can't make change. They can't count back change. If something is, 21.25 or 21.23, and you give them $22.25, they look at you like, what? What are you doing? And they're trying to figure out the change from 22 or 21 to 22, not giving you back $1.02. If they don't have the computer to punch it in, they have all sorts of problems trying to do the math problem. And that's sad, where they can't, you get these, I don't know what they call them, like short change artists. Well, they just have a heyday with these people. They start out with nothing and end up getting money from these people. Now, I can't get Siri to turn on half the time, and it comes on when I sit there and talk about short change artists. No, it's sad to see. I was watching a commercial. Kids are going to school, and they're getting massive amounts of debt for their geology or something, whatever. And I was trying to tell my son, I said, why don't you just, you can go to school, but you could go part-time school and get a degree. But as you're doing it, you could actually go to work for like a plumber's union, make $12 to $15 an hour as an apprentice. After 2 years, you get done with apprentice school, you make about $60,000 a year. And that's working for just about anybody. And you tell these kids coming out of college to do that, and they're like, oh, I can't do that. And they come out of college and they make 30. And they got $100,000 worth of debt. Where if you go to work for a plumber's and pipe fitters, apprentice, you'll come out with a skill trade that you'll have for life. You could actually open your own business if you wanted, eventually. And you're going to make $60,000 to $100,000 a year with no debt. Yeah, there's some times that suck being a plumber, but there's some times that suck being any job. It doesn't matter what you do. There's bad times, but I'll tell you what, there's some great jobs working with your hands like that. So if you, I tell you what, I think it's the way to go. I wish I knew more skilled trade and doing, and some of the things like that. But I wanted to do is talk about, before we get into Justice Antonin Scalia and his death, I wanted to talk about a video that a friend of mine had shared on Facebook. And I'd seen this, heard about the story before. I talked about it back. But this is actually going to court right now. The soldier is fighting for his, I guess, his military career. It's had 15,780 shares, where it's been shared that many times out to people. This is has to do with Sergeant First Class Charles Martland. And if you don't know what the situation was, Charles Martland is a Special Forces soldier who went to defense. And I'm gonna let the video, you won't be able to see the video, but you'll hear the audio of it. Hopefully, you're gonna hear it on TuneIn for sure. Hopefully, you'll hear it on Ustream. But this is the audio right now,
Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman from Culpeper, Mr. Freitas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for a point of personal privilege.
The gentleman has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I'd like to tell you all a little bit about a fellow, I guess I shouldn't say veteran because he's still on active duty, but his name is Sergeant First Class Charles Martland. And Sergeant First Class Martland is an active duty soldier right now that I think needs the help of pretty much all Americans, but especially the people in this body that have some influence with respect to the process by which he is currently being considered for discharge. Sergeant First Class Martland served in the same battalion I did in 3rd Battalion, 1st Special Forces Group. He did multiple tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. And the reason why he is going to be discharged at this point was because 4 years ago in Afghanistan, a small boy came up to him and pleaded to him for help, along with his mother. This small boy had been tied to a post and brutalized repeatedly for days by an Afghan police officer. And so Sergeant First Class Martland approached this individual with his commanding officer, along with the child and the mother. They laughed off the accusation. They laughed at him. They laughed at this child that had been, again, tied to a post and brutally raped for days. So Sergeant First Class Martland, upon seeing this reaction for the officer, proceeded to punish him for it. He beat him. And that, in the eyes of the current powers that be within the United States military and the administration, is reason for him to be drummed out of the military. Ladies and gentlemen, the motto of U.S. Army Special Forces Green Berets is De Oppresso Liber, to free the oppressed, regardless of where they come from, regardless of their nationality, their religious convictions. It's to free the oppressed. And you need to understand something about the way Green Berets operate. At 2 combat tours in Iraq, I spent more time with the indigenous population than I did with Americans. We build relationships. We build trust. It gets to a point where you're not just over there fighting for our Constitution and fighting for our citizens. You're fighting for the people in that neighborhood that you have built this relationship with. They are your family as well. And I will tell you, as many of the people in this room who are combat veterans can probably attest, and many people in law enforcement as well, you do not truly appreciate evil when you look at it. You appreciate what it is when it looks back. And the question that every service member has to come into contact with when that episode happens is, what are you going to do about it? And Sergeant First Class Martland confronted evil. He punished it. He demonstrated to evil, he demonstrated to that boy and his mother that someone was going to be willing to stand up for them. Somebody was going to be willing to face the consequences that could have arisen from this and defend this boy when nobody else would. And our response now as a country and a military is going to be to drum him out? Maybe there are some that feel that what he did was excessive. I personally do not. But I will tell you this, we should be very, very careful at the message that we send to the men and women that we expect to go overseas and put their bodies, themselves, in harm's way, to stand in between the innocent and those who would exploit and destroy them. Because when you have signified to them that you will not have their back as soon as it becomes politically inconvenient, that as soon as it may look bad in the press, you're going to abandon them, don't expect a military that is going to continue to go over there and put everything on the line, give up all of their tomorrows, miss anniversaries, birthdays, Christmases, Thanksgiving, away from their families, from their women, from their wives, from their children, from their husbands. He is owed our loyalty. He demonstrated it to us year after year. And quite frankly, I think it demonstrates something to be proud of when a small child in a foreign country that doesn't speak the same language, that barely knows this person, is willing to come up to them and sees that flag on his shoulder as a symbol of someone that he can go to for protection. And now we've just told not only the people that perpetrated this atrocity against this small boy, we've told the small boy too, don't count on it, because we'll punish them if they do so. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be defended by a military that when they are confronted with evil like that, their response is not fear, it's not equivocation, it is to confront it with violence if necessary. I think Sergeant First Class Martland deserves our support. He is currently right now undergoing his second appeal. As far as any influence that you have with congressional delegations within the Department of the Army, I would encourage you to please stand by this man. He has stood by us, and he has stood by the people of Afghanistan. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I don't know how or what our U.S. military expects when stuff like that comes to their face. To sit there and drum him out of the military because he stood up for exactly what he's supposed to do. Was it excessive? I don't think so. Maybe more people need to do that. See, it wasn't their kid. They didn't have to sit there and worry about their kid. They don't have to sit there and see little kids. They live in a little glass bubble where nothing ever happens to them. They have armed security watching them when half of them don't care. If they're going to drum him out of the military, what's it going to say to other people? You're going to have less people wanting to go special forces. You're going to... It's like the police officers now. When they feel that they do not have the support of the community, they will not act to defend the community. Why do anything, or why hurry when you feel like you're going to do is put your neck out? Look how many officers we've had die this year in the line of duty and get shot, and still live. I think we've had 9 so far this year. I don't know how many we've had. 8 I know that have died just this year. When you have a society that wants to do is the officers are wrong. Like when you go to Ferguson, Missouri, officer gets cleared of charges against Michael Brown. And what does the Justice Department do? It punishes the department. Says they're racist. There are inherent practices of racism. So when the military sits there and takes a soldier that stands up for somebody who can't stand up for themselves, and they punish him, what's that say? I stand with Sergeant First Class Martland. I'm former military, former police officer, and I stand with them. No, all military guys aren't perfect. No, all police officers aren't perfect. Does Martland, should he be maybe disciplined? Yes. Should he be kicked out of the military? No. I don't know. I think it's too harsh. I hope that this video will go viral enough to let the people know that the American people expect more from our military, the more from our military leaders, that if we're going over to defend people and somebody does that defense, don't take it out on them for what they defended them. Like they were talking about waterboarding. Came up in the where Donald Trump said that he would bring back more than waterboarding. Well, all special forces are trained in waterboarding. Not giving it, they are all waterboarded. They teach them to what they go through, like when they're kidnapped or taken prisoner. So that is about the least that's going to be done to an American soldier. Would be the least they would be done to them, and we consider that too much. And they say, well, we don't want to reduce our down to their level. They will cattle prod the soldier's balls and torture him and then drag him through the streets while he's still alive. Tell that to the family of Chris Stevens, Ambassador Chris Stevens, where they did that to him. I mean, think about it. There was a article where some young kid was had his head he was decapitated for listening to Western music. Not because he was stealing or raping or committing murder. He was listening to Western music. If you start to listen to Christianity, they will kill you in some countries. And we're worried about whether they waterboard them or not. It's like these people live in a freaking bubble and they have no clue what's outside. And then they think, oh, nothing will happen here. Bring them all over here. Oh, it'll be great. Well, they're going to have people guarding their house. They don't care. They get a chauffeur to drive them to work. They don't have to worry about living out amongst the real people. It's crazy to think what our society is going to. So stand by Sergeant First Class Martland. Hopefully we can help him out. if we can, I hope, if any way we can, I hope so. Talking about, they paid tribute to Justice Antonin Scalia today. They Supreme Court, they showed all his former interns and everybody that worked for him lined the steps. It says Scalia was carried in a flag-draped casket into the court's Great Hall and placed it was placed on the Lincoln, I'm not sure how, catafalque? I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it says, supported by President Abraham Lincoln's casket across the street in U.S. Capitol after his assassination in 1865. So he was right there in the Supreme Court. So it was nice. They had a ton of people that went through, and they were leaving applesauce and broccoli as tribute to him. All of his law clerks, it was just, it says Scalia will lie in repose all day and into the evening, and his fellow justices, law clerks, Supreme Court employees, and Americans who revered or simply respected him can pay homage. Groups of 4 former clerks, rotating every 30 minutes, will stand behind beside the coffin at all times. President Obama, First Lady, wordlessly paid their respects in mid-afternoon, pausing for a moment at Scalia's casket, again at a life-size portrait of the late justice. They will not attend Saturday's funeral for Scalia, instead deciding to be represented by Vice President Biden and his wife, Jill. As high a position that Antonin Scalia had, I'm very surprised that the president doesn't go to the funeral. But apparently those two went head-to-head quite often. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We got some more information about actually kind of a bombshell thing that came down for... we're going to talk about that right as we get back from break. So it just keeps getting better and better and better.
St. Julian's macaroons as a healthy alternative to many of the store-bought cookies. There are no preservatives and only 100 calories. And who really likes them? So find them in the freezer section at your local supermarket or order online today at www.macaroons.com.
Hey, Joe Rocks, it's Louie Avis, straight from Chi-Town. Call and talk about our website, www.hotsaucevault.com. We got everything you can think of out there, Joe. The hottest hot sauces, not for wimps, mild, medium sauces. We got barbecue sauces, snacks, some of our gift ideas and gag gifts, so you can go out and check us out at www.hotsaucevault.com. Hope to talk to you again on your radio show. Kick-ass show. Had a great time last week. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care, Joe. hotsaucevault.com.
If you're looking to reward, celebrate, recognize, or advertise, get help from the pros at Creative Marketing. Custom imprinted products to give that event a lasting impression. Log on to Creative Marketing on Facebook and click the Call Us button. With over 700,000 products, we're sure to find what is right for you. Remember, think Creative Marketing for all your adware needs.
Are you hangry? Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
I hate you, pants.
Hangry. It can happen to anyone. Fortunately, there's E24, the app that tells hunger to shut up.
Egg rolls. Thanks, Snoop.
E24. In my medical opinion, it's the best way to order food online, baby.
Route 106 Motors is the home of fine pre-owned vehicles. Experience a no-pressure sale with a family-friendly atmosphere. Route 106 Motors has been practicing the same simple philosophy of low prices for over a decade, and it has brought us great success. Recently, while other dealers are closing their doors, Route 106 Motors is expanding. We are a wholesale dealer, and we own the property and pay cash for all the vehicles. This allows us to sell to the consumer for a lot less than the average dealership. We are a high-volume, small-profit dealer, and we pass the savings on to you. New changes have been made at Route 106 Motors. Stop by and check out our brand-new building. Route 106 Motors, located at 569 West Street. Check our website at route106motors.com and be sure to like us on Facebook to find out about all the latest deals and savings opportunities. route106motors.com.
Hey everyone, I want to tell you all about an amazing salon. Joyce's, located at 132 Ferry Street in Everett, Massachusetts. Joyce's specializes in the latest techniques in coloring, styling, cutting, and beach waves. Joyce's features Sukesha all-natural nutrient products in organic color. Joyce's full-service spa and salon, located at 132 Ferry Street, Everett, Massachusetts. 617-387-6688. Specializing in you.
Tune in every Monday and Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Straight Talk with Matt Hasley. Live audio on TuneIn Radio and Spreaker.com. Plus live video on Ustream.tv. From the demented minds at ArmedRadioGlobal.com.
Hey everybody, Mike Allen here. You can hear me live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on TuneIn Radio. Or you can visit my website at www.ontheairwithmikeallen.com for more show times, updates, and replays. So remember, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, on the air with Mike Allen, right here on Armed Radio Global.
Like a shadow in the night. My hair was standing on end. I was frozen in fear. I couldn't believe it. They really are here. Make sure you join the Alien Invasion Response Team. Tune in for the message every Monday and Friday for Straight Talk with Matt Hasley, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, only on Armed Radio Global. Be ready. They're coming.
Hey there, sexy. This is comedian Jenny Lavoie. You can catch me with the rest of the gang every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern on Night Talk with Joe Ross, exclusively on Armed Radio Global. Mwah!
Right before we're going to break, we were talking about bombshell news, and this is coming out. It hasn't been widely reported, but it says This comes out on yournewswire.com, which is, it says, Scalia held secret meeting with Obama hours before death. It says, Foreign Intelligence Service report has revealed that U.S. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia visited President Obama just hours before his suspicious death in Houston. The secret meeting was held aboard U.S. Air Force plane heading to Texas ranch owned by a close friend of Obama's. And it says, whatdoesitmean.com reports. And it says, according to this report, SVR Assets reported that on 11 February, both President Obama and Justice Scalia were at Joint Base Andrews, JBA, scheduled for two separate U.S. Air Force flights from Andrews Field, the first taking President Obama to Los Angeles, and a second taking Justice Scalia to Marfa Municipal Airport, KMRF, located in the southwestern region of Texas near the Mexican border. So while President Obama was scheduled to depart on one of U.S. Air Force 2 Boeing VC-25 aircraft, commonly referred to as Air Force One, it says this report continues. Justice Scalia's flight was scheduled aboard Gulfstream C-37A, which is the U.S. Air Force designation for their fleet of their most popular Gulfstream V private jet aircraft. Well, it says just prior to these two U.S. Air Force aircraft departing from Andrews Field, this report notes SVR Assets assigned to monitoring top American political and military figures noted a discrepancy from normal protocol. When Justice Scalia's three U.S. Marshal Services Judicial Security Division, JSD, protectors/defenders, left the airbase with the personal protection of this noted jurist being transferred to the Secret Service, SS. Upon both President Obama and Justice Scalia's different flights departing from Andrews Field, the report continues detailing an even greater discrepancy from normal protocol was noted by the SVR when they were informed by Aerospace Forces, AF, satellite monitoring personnel, personnel that U.S. Air Force F-16 fighter aircraft from three different bases, Shaw's Air Force Base, Montgomery Field, and Luke Air Force Base, accompanied the entire flights of both the Boeing VC-25 and the Gulfstream C-37A, a level of protection normally only afforded to the U.S. President exclusively. As to why the U.S. Air Force provided F-16 fighter aircraft protection to Justice Scalia's flight, this report continues, became even more concerning to the SVR when, after the flight landed in Marfa, Texas, this extreme protection air cover was maintained until the Gulfstream C-37A departed 3 hours later and flew to Los Angeles Air Force Base, LAAFB, accompanied by its fighter plane escort, and were at the exact same time in the American press covering President Obama began questioning where he was, only to be told that Obama had been missing due to a late-night, off-the-books dinner with three Hollywood elite and White House wouldn't further comment on. This SVR report, though, strongly suggests that President Obama had, in fact, been aboard the Gulfstream C-37A with Justice Scalia from Andrews Field to Marfa, and then further traveled from Texas to Los Angeles on it, which they say is the only conclusion to be reached due to the Air Force continuous protection of it. It says, in support of this conclusion, the report continues AF radar and electronic spectrum satellite analysis of Marfa, where the Gulfstream C-37A landed with Justice Scalia and maybe President Obama, shows a four-vehicle convoy leaving the KMRF airport and traveling a 12,140-hectare, 30,000-acre estate called Cibolo Creek Ranch Critical to note about the Cibolo Creek Ranch, this report says that it is owned by Texas multimillionaire John Poindexter, who, aside from being the owner of the vast conglomerate J.P. Poindexter and Company, Incorporated, is a longtime personal friend of President Obama, who is one of the first duties upon selected bestowed a war medal upon Poindexter for his service during the Vietnam War. Of even greater concern about President Obama, personal friend John Poindexter SVR analysis in the report state that this is within 36 hours of Justice Scalia arriving at Cibolo Creek Ranch estate. Poindexter reported that the media that the jurist had died, and who then coordinated the local Texas officials to have Justice Scalia declared dead via phone conversation with the area medical examiner without actual medical examination of the body, in clear violation of Texas law, which states autopsies to be performed when the body or part of the person is found, and cause of circumstances of death are unknown. I reported last Monday that a source of mine told me that Antonin Scalia was found dead with the pillow over his face, and his arms were folded across his chest, which would be kind of like you would see somebody when they are in a casket. They put their arms folded like that. Well, I don't know of anybody that sleeps that way. It would be rather rare. But it says, with Scalia being reported found dead in John Poindexter's estate, this report continues, this esteemed jurist was further said to be, and it talks about the pillow being lying over his head, and unwrinkled bedclothes, which just these reports alone under Texas law demands an autopsy. You know, they first said he had a heart attack, and then he said he died of natural causes. Who knows? He could have had a brain aneurysm. It could have been anything. I'm not saying anybody killed him. But it looks awful freaking weird that President Obama would fly to Marfa with him and keep his mouth shut about it, and then fly on, and then all of a sudden, within 36 hours of when he left him, he's dead, and they don't do an autopsy. They drive him all over Texas in a motorcade. They go like an hour and a half one direction to do an embalming or whatever, pronounce him dead, and then drive 3 hours to El Paso and embalm him in El Paso, and then dump his body fluids down the normal sewer system. They would normally keep those fluids in a container, and they would normally incinerate those. Just weird. Why would you dump those down a normal sewer system? So, if it was 100% legit, he died of natural causes, fell asleep, died in his sleep, it looks like crap. There was more outrage over Chris Christie shutting down lanes of a bridge for weeks and weeks and weeks. They went crazy over Chris Christie shutting down lanes of the bridge from New York to New Jersey. And nobody talks about this. And if you bring it up, oh, you're some freaking, put on the tinfoil, you right-wing nutcase. No, it looks pathetic that a senior Supreme Court justice gets this type of treatment. If it came out that somebody killed him, let's say it was a hit from a mob hit or a Mexican gang hit or God knows if it was a ISIS hit or something like that. We'd like to know about it. But with all the bumbling that they've had, this sounds like when JFK's body, when he died, when he was assassinated, I should say. They lost his brain. Oh, wow. Oh, let's clean up his car. Oh, let's fix the bullet holes. You know, I mean, evidence is just totally destroyed. I mean, it's amazing to see that. I mean, there's a report out that the sheriff that was the local sheriff, and it says sheriff lacked experience. And this came out. It says sheriff lacked experience. He said the sheriff who claimed no foul play involved in the death of Supreme Court Justice had little experience in homicide investigations, and the department willfully ignored proper procedures. But think about it. They could have flown his body via helicopter, via chopper, or a jet, the Gulfstream jet right there. They could have loaded him on another one and flew him right to, into Virginia, done a full autopsy and everything, and could have been done. Why they took the time to drive him all over Texas? Well, I don't know. Maybe he needed one last tour of Texas. But it's amazing that they just it's something that you think of like Barney Fife doing, you know. If you're not, if you don't understand that, you know, what to do with handling bodies, the government should have stepped in. When it's a senior Supreme Court justice, an autopsy should have been done to find out exact cause of death, because you don't know for sure. They do autopsies on illegal aliens found out in the middle of the desert, not knowing what they died. You know, they can be all chewed up by coyotes, and they'll do an autopsy on them, and they have to pay for it. It's cause of death, and they won't do one on a senior Supreme Court justice. That makes no sense. And if you say anything, you question it, bust out the tinfoil. Oh, you're wacko. Yeah, why would they lie to you? Why would they lie? Because they've done it before. So, what effects does Justice Scalia dying have an effect on the Supreme Court? Well, two of the nominees that they're talking about nominating are Eric Holder, one, and what's her name? She's the current Attorney General right now. But think about that. Eric Holder. How he even thinks that he could make it through the vetting process, if that's one of his nominations. Think of Fast and Furious. Who was involved with Fast and Furious? Bing, Eric Holder. Loretta Lynch. That's what I'm thinking. Here was the other name that was brought up. He can nominate as many people as he wants. That's fine. But very person who's talking and says that the Supreme Court or nominations by the president are only to be just to see that they're qualified, and that's it. I mean, he doesn't remember when he balked at Judge when they tried to appoint Alito to the Supreme Court, and he balked and said that no, it was not just the president's job to be able to do is appoint him and go through. It was the Senate's job to stand up, and they denied him on his character. So if you It's amazing how it's a automatic 180. I mean, they don't remember what they say. And nobody brings them to task on it. And when they do, none of the mainstream media brings them to task. The only one I've heard talking about, they talked about it on The Blaze. Of course, Fox News brings it up. But you don't hear CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, all of them like that. They don't bring it up. They want the court to go way to the left. The problem is they're going to realize if they go way to the left, when we get to the point where, okay, let's say you have free college. I'm kind of digressing here, but if we get free college, and right now you have free grade school and high school education, all right? So then you have free college. Another 4 more years tacked on. So these kids get through 16 years of school. It's all paid for. So when let's say you happen to be, you could be married, you could be single, you could be a gay couple. I don't care what you are. Let's say you're 60, never had any kids. Your taxes that you're paying for is still paying for those kids to go to school. So if you feel that you get free college, you're not getting free college. You're paying for free college through taxes. It's like your local school taxes go to pay for local education. Even if you never have a kid, once you're done with school, you're still paying local taxes that go to support that school so some kid can go to school. That's exactly what's going to happen with the college. But the tax is going to be a lot higher. It would be cheaper for me to take the Obamacare penalty than to pay for our health insurance that we get through work. It's a little over $2,000 a penalty per person. It would be cheaper for me to go and take the penalty. I mean, you look at people think that it's going to be magically free. There's nothing is free. Somebody has to pay for it. And they're like, I don't care as long as it's not me. That's all they get, that mentality. Well, you're paying for it, but you're paying for it in an indirect way. It's like they want to do is raise the $10 or what is it, $10 a barrel of oil, or actually $10.25 for every barrel of oil, which would raise gas tax 25 cents a gallon. Well, once you do that, that never comes off. They're never going to go, well, I think we've used that up enough. Let's do is repeal that. No. They'll go, well, let's raise it another $10 or 50 cents a gallon. Because we didn't do enough with what we had. We decided to do is give money to a company that decided to leave this country and move to Mexico. When you look at, you will do is the more stuff you give away free, the less apt that you're going to have somebody take a chance at running their own business. Because why? Why try to run your own business when they're just going to take more of it? Why work harder and take a chance to expand that business and bring on more employees when you're just going to get taxed at a higher rate? You're going to get to a certain too high a rate, and next thing you know, you're making less. You know, you talk about what's going on in election 2016 right now. I guess tomorrow they vote on South Carolina. The current, and this is released today, state releases more Clinton emails one day before Nevada caucuses. So what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about the election 2016. We come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Trump fighting with the Pope. And we'll see who wins. We'll be back. Maybe once I get my audio going there. There we go. I'll be right back.
Mom, can you pack me some cookies for school today?
Finally, as a mother, I want to share about St. Julian's macaroons. I am concerned about my child's health, so I pack for his lunchbox, and after school, I give him St. Julian's macaroons as a healthy alternative to many of the store-bought cookies. There are no preservatives and only 100 calories, and he really likes them. So find them in the freezer section at your local supermarket or order online today at www.macaroons.com.
Hey, Joe Rocks, it's Louis Avis straight from Chi-Town. Call and talk about our website, www.hotsaucevault.com. We got everything you can think of out there, Joe. The hottest hot sauces, not for wimps, mild, medium sauces. We got barbecue sauces, snacks, some of our gift ideas and gag gifts, so you can go out and check us out at www.hotsaucevault.com. Hope to talk to you again on your radio show. Kick-ass show. Had a great time last week. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care, Joe. hotsaucevault.com.
If you're looking to reward, celebrate, recognize, or advertise, get help from the pros at Creative Marketing. Custom imprinted products to give that event a lasting impression. Log on to Creative Marketing on Facebook and click the Call Us button. With over 700,000 products, we're sure to find what is right for you. Remember, think Creative Marketing for all your adware needs.
Are you hangry? Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
I hate you, pants.
Hangry. It can happen to anyone. Fortunately, there's E24, the app that tells hunger to shut up.
Egg rolls. Thanks, Snoop.
E24. In my medical opinion, it's the best way to order food online, baby.
Route 106 Motors is the home of fine pre-owned vehicles. Experience a no-pressure sale with a family-friendly atmosphere. Route 106 Motors has been practicing the same simple philosophy of low prices for over a decade, and it has brought us great success. Recently, while other dealers are closing their doors, Route 106 Motors is expanding. We are a wholesale dealer, and we own the property and pay cash for all the vehicles. This allows us to sell to the consumer for a lot less than the average dealership. We are a high-volume, small-profit dealer, and we pass the savings on to you. New changes have been made at Route 106 Motors. Stop by and check out our brand-new building. Route 106 Motors, located at 569 West Street. Check our website at route106motors.com and be sure to like us on Facebook to find out about all the latest deals and savings opportunities. route106motors.com.
Hey everyone, I want to tell you all about an amazing salon. Joyce's, located at 132 Ferry Street in Everett, Massachusetts. Joyce's specializes in the latest techniques in coloring, styling, cutting, and beach waves. Joyce's features Sukesha all-natural nutrient products in organic color. Joyce's full-service spa and salon, located at 132 Ferry Street, Everett, Massachusetts. 617-387-6688. Specializing in you.
Hey everybody, Mike Allen here. You can hear me live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on TuneIn Radio. Or you can visit my website at www.ontheairwithmikeallen.com for more show times, updates, and replays. So remember, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, on the air with Mike Allen, right here on Armed Radio Global.
It was like a shadow in the night. My hair was standing on end. I was frozen in fear. I couldn't believe it. They really are here. Make sure you join the Alien Invasion Response Team. Tune in for the message every Monday and Friday for Straight Talk with Matt Hasley, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, only on Arm Radio Global. Be ready. They're coming.
Hey there, sexy. This is comedian Jenny Lavoie. You can catch me with the rest of the gang every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern on Night Talk with Joe Ross, exclusively on Armed Radio Global. Mwah!
Oh yeah, we're back. I watched it was called The Kingsman. It had been a movie, older movie. Pretty cool movie. I'd watched half of it before. I hadn't seen all of it, but I watched that last night. Got hooked on that. And my son and I watched, actually, I watched that 2 nights ago, I'm sorry. But last night, my son and I watched, and I've seen it before, but I always laugh at it, Scary Movie 4. We were cracking up so hard. We're just dying laughing at some of the stupid comedy. Leslie Nielsen is just awesome. He was awesome. But, election coverage 2016 with Hillary Clinton. She just, State Department released on Friday, more than 500 emails for Hillary Clinton's personal stash. Just hours before the Democratic caucus in Nevada, which has got to just piss her off. Says, we take our obligations to the court very seriously. We're making every effort to comply with this order. State Department spokesman Mark Toner told reporters earlier Friday of the 562 emails, which add up to more than 1,100 pages, 64 were classified. No way! Classified email on Hillary's server? I can't believe it. This must be new. All of those were relatively low-level confidential, and none were marked as classified when they were sent, a State Department official said. Yeah, bullshit. With the latest batch, there are more than 1,700 emails from Clinton's machine that are now classified. Yeah. Says among the classified emails, an extended discussion about efforts to recover 4 new New York Times reporters who had been captured in Libya in 2011, as well as 2012 death of Ethiopia's prime minister. In many cases, Clinton did not send the emails that are now considered classified. But they should not have been sending any emails to her private server. That's the way I feel. I'm sorry. But if you're Secretary of State, just about everything you get is classified. It says, revelations that more than 1,500 emails were classified and that 22 were given the highest classification of top secret have prompted allegations that she failed to protect secret government information. I'm sorry, but I got to agree. FBI is doing an investigation on her. If they don't come out with it, well, that tells me that they want to do is nominate Loretta Lynch. Well, she's obstructing justice. So I don't know how you can become a justice of the Supreme Court if you can't do what is right. And I think Eric Holder could probably be under FBI investigation with Fast and Furious. Hell, they did it to Colonel Oliver North. So, if you look at the race, and what's wild is, you look at the current, it's wild. This is funny because I just searched it in Bing.com, and it's wild because you bring it up. Let me see here, and it says South Carolina primary 2016, and it says, and it goes totals to date. It says include superdelegates. Right now, Hillary Clinton has 483 superdelegates. Bernie Sanders has 55. It says February 20th, which is tomorrow, Nevada. They have their Nevada caucus. Predicted winner, Hillary Clinton. They don't. South Carolina will go tomorrow. Donald Trump is in the lead right now, but they keep changing how close it is. I don't know. I don't know if it hurt him coming out talking about George Bush not keeping us protected on 9/11. I'm sure that took a little bit of hit. Get a lot of boos out of that. I think they knew more than. I don't necessarily say the president, but somebody dropped the ball on 9/11. Multiple people dropped the ball. There's a lot of weird stuff that went on. And then February 23rd, it says the Republicans go to Nevada and the Democrats go to South Carolina on February 27th. So by March 1st, it shows Hillary to be the Democratic and South Carolina caucus winners and Donald Trump to win both. So, but in the news currently, and the delegate things, super delegates is what freaked me out about right now, delegate total for the Republicans are 17 for Donald Trump, 11 for Ted Cruz, and 10 for Marco Rubio. John Kasich has 5, Jeb Bush 4, Ben Carson 3, and then the rest they're done already. So John Kasich had a good moment where the guy he was doing a speech and he was talking, to his supporters, and a gentleman got up and was talking about how family members of his died, blah blah blah. This happened, blah blah blah. And John Kasich walked over and hugged the guy. And I mean, it was a really polarizing moment. I like John Kasich. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a nice guy. I just don't think he has the appeal to win everybody over. Donald Trump is that polarizing figure. I think it's between him and Ted Cruz. Marco Rubio's liked in South Carolina. One of the senators down there is backing him. I really like the senator that's backing him. But I mean, it's just one of those deals where I don't know if I think he's a good guy. They're just right now they're just beating the crap out of each other, That's the one thing I do like about Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders has he doesn't do a negative ad campaign. Neither does John Kasich. He feels about the positive. So you look at what's been going on with the election coverage. The Pope come out and let me see if I can find the article, what he stated. Is the Pope made a statement about candidates should not be building walls, but they should be building bridges. And but it says, let me see if I can find the one. There's an article. It says Vatican, and this Vatican came out, and it says Pope Francis comments about Donald Trump, not a personal attack or an instruction on how to vote. It said the Vatican spokesman, Father Federico Lombardi, has issued clarification regarding the Pope's remarks to journalists Thursday. He said in answer to Donald Trump, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, that a person who only thinks of building walls and not about building bridges is no Christian. Aboard the plane returning from Mexico to Rome, Pope answered Reuters reporter Phil Puella by saying, I would only say if he said these things, this man is no Christian. But we'd have to see whether these things, and in this matter, I would give him a benefit of the doubt. Since news reports bore headlines suggesting the Pope has denied Trump's they only report what they want to write. I mean, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter. The Pope could have said, I support him, but I don't like this, and they would have never put out the I support part. Yeah, it's very... I understand what the Pope is trying to do is the Pope is trying to bring everybody together. And that should be the goal or the procedure for the pontiff. He should be trying to do is unite everyone that they can become together to where they can work as a common goal to where, the belief in Jesus. But right now, you get people that are over in some of the Muslim-dominated countries where if you believe in Christianity, they kill you. So, the Pope, or Donald Trump, commented about, he says, about this, he says, this came out of CBS New York. It says, Trump backs down. He says, I don't like fighting with the Pope. He says, appeared to be backing off his attacks on Pope Francis during a GOP town hall Thursday night. The Republican presidential hopeful responded harshly initially when the Pope said the billionaire is not a Christian. But the problem is, it was not worded that way. If he would have heard his whole comments, then he would understand it. Is that this happened when the Pope responded to a question about Trump's pledge to build a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border. You look, what is built between North and South Korea? It's not a wall, but it's 3 fences. And it's designed to keep, we have a war on drugs, and we can't stop those from coming in. But building this wall or fence system or whatever would help in that aspect. Problem is, you build the fence, they cut the fence. But right now, they got tunnels going under the wall everywhere. I mean, so I don't know how you get by it. They're always finding a way to get around it. Look at El Chapo, whatever. Hell, they dug a tunnel right to his cell, where his toilet was. Perfect. And then had a railing system where he could get on a motorcycle and ride it out of there. I mean, rather than building all that railing, he could have walked out. But I hate to see the Pope, and a lot of people were upset about the Pope's comments when you look at Vatican City. It's surrounded by a massive wall. But the current Pope did not build that wall. That wall was already there. So it's easier. They've taken in 2 refugees in the Vatican. The United States has taken in a ton of refugees, but we don't get credit for that. We only get credit for people saying that we need to do is make sure that the people who are coming in aren't terrorists. And people get attacked for saying that. We have we have enough problems here in the United States. Got to make sure that people are coming in aren't going to create more problems as they come in. Was it we talked about apparently hookers for Hillary, the Nevada brothel, which I don't know if that was it says hookers for Hillary offer 30 extra minutes to Nevada customers who will vote for Clinton. Apparently they maybe Bill stopped by and got them to sign on. So it's sex workers in Nevada said they're offering customers 30 extra minutes for service, a 25% discount if they will caucus for Hillary on Saturday. Wow. It says Bill Clinton presided over the most prosperous time in Bunny Ranch history, which coincided with tax increase on the wealthiest Americans, such as brothel owner Dennis Hoff. The Bunnies recognize that thriving economies are built from the bottom up, where the vast majority of their clients originate. A return to relying on the disproven theory of trickle-down economics would only serve to exclude the vast majority of hardworking Bunny Ranch clients from having the discretionary income to enjoy their favorite bunny. So they have some idea that they think that if you tax the wealthy guy, it's going to do is make the government's going to be able to hand out more free stuff to the lower guy. Well, if you get to minimum wage, $15 an hour, they're going to be having to drop their prices. So, or they'll end up be raising their prices and they won't see anybody. Here's a wild stat that came out. Bernie Sanders has raised $16 million from the unemployed. So what does that tell you? It says that's because Sanders' biggest source of fundraising support comes from retired or unemployed, according to filings with Federal Election Commission and reported by Bloomberg. $16 million of the $73 million the candidate raised in 2015 came from individual donors who said they were out of jobs, according to the report. So is it possible that they're unemployed that gave $65? So this group of the people had good reason to support Vermont Senator. He is proposing to expand Social Security to the tune of $65 more per month on average, financed by raising payroll taxes on wealthy wage earners. He also vowed to get unemployed working again through a $1 trillion infrastructure plan. The campaign says he will create 13 million good-paying jobs. bring our industry back from Mexico, and that will bring a ton of jobs back and more tax revenue. You know, it's amazing how they watch a business leave, and they don't care. They give the. Well, we were talking about immigration right before I got there, and you know they're talking about. This is a story came out on Breitbart. An illegal alien killer protected by Nebraska's sanctuary city vanishes after paying bond. It says, thanks for the Omaha Police Department's refusal to cooperate with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and ICE failure to issue a detainer, illegal alien murderer Eswin Mija is on the run and may never serve time for killing a young woman. The Honduran Mija, 19, killed 21-year-old Sarah Root while allegedly street racing on January 31st, rear-ending her so hard she succumbed to her fatal injuries the same night. Police found Mija's blood alcohol level was 4 times the legal limit, and the alien had a suspended driver's license. Root had graduated from Bellevue University with a 4.0 GPA just the day before. Nice. Says, although Mija faced up to 20 years in prison for killing Root, Judge Jeffrey Mercuzzo set Mija's bond at $50,000. Mija's brother paid the necessary $5,000. 10% of the illegal promptly disappeared, rubbing salt in mourning Root's family wound. Police did not contact Root's family to warn them. They freed their daughter's killer. Great. Nice. So you think about that being a sanctuary city. I guarantee if that was one of the city officials, that kid would have never seen bond. As long as it's not their family, they don't care. I mean, that's just a shame that what it's got to our. They're so afraid of being insensitive to the immigrants that they will be overly over the top to that, giving everything that they want. They don't want to be looked at Islamophobic or something like that. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about a high school it's the I don't know what you call it. It was a homework assignment. And I'm like going, holy crap, when I saw that. So when we come back, we'll talk about that. Maybe. There we go.
Every Monday and Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Straight Talk with Matt Hasley. Live audio on TuneIn Radio and Spreaker.com. Plus live video on Ustream.tv. From the demented minds at ArmedRadioGlobal.com.
Mom, can you pack me some cookies for school today?
Finally, As a mother, I want to share about St. Julian's macaroons. I am concerned about my child's health, so I pack for his lunchbox, and after school, I give him St. Julian's macaroons as a healthy alternative to many of the store-bought cookies. There are no preservatives and only 100 calories, and he really likes them. So find them in the freezer section at your local supermarket or order online today at www.macaroons.com.
Hey, Joe Rocks, it's Louis Avis straight from Chi-Town. Call and talk about our website, www.hotsaucevault.com. We got everything you can think of out there, Joe. The hottest hot sauces, not for wimps, mild, medium sauces. We got barbecue sauces, snacks, some of our gift ideas and gag gifts, so you can go out and check us out at www.hotsaucevault.com. Hope to talk to you again on your radio show. Kick-ass show. Had a great time last week. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care, Joe. hotsaucevault.com.
If you're looking to reward, celebrate, recognize, or advertise, get help from the pros at Creative Marketing. Custom imprinted products to give that event a lasting impression. Log on to Creative Marketing on Facebook and click the Call Us button. With over 700,000 products, we're sure to find what is right for you. Remember, think Creative Marketing for all your adware needs.
Are you hangry? Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
I hate you, pants.
Hangry. It can happen to anyone. Fortunately, there's E24, the app that tells hunger to shut up.
Egg rolls. Thanks, Snoop.
E24. In my medical opinion, it's the best way to order food online, baby.
Route 106 Motors is the home of fine pre-owned vehicles. Experience a no-pressure sale with a family-friendly atmosphere. Route 106 Motors has been practicing the same simple philosophy of low prices for over a decade, and it has brought us great success. Recently, while other dealers are closing their doors, Route 106 Motors is expanding. We are a wholesale dealer, and we own the property and pay cash for all the vehicles. This allows us to sell to the consumer for a lot less than the average dealership. We are a high-volume, small-profit dealer, and we pass the savings on to you. New changes have been made at Route 106 Motors. Stop by and check out our brand-new building. Route 106 Motors, located at 569 West Street. Check our website at route106motors.com and be sure to like us on Facebook to find out about all the latest deals and savings opportunities. route106motors.com.
Hey everyone, I want to tell you all about an amazing salon. Joyce's, located at 132 Ferry Street in Everett, Massachusetts. Joyce's specializes in the latest techniques in coloring, styling, cutting, and beach waves. Joyce's features Sukesha all-natural nutrient products in organic color. Joyce's full-service spa and salon, located at 132 Ferry Street, Everett, Massachusetts. 617-387-6688. Specializing in you.
Hey everybody, Mike Allen here. You can hear me live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on TuneIn Radio. Or you can visit my website at www.ontheairwithmikeallen.com for more showtimes, updates, and replays. So remember, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, on the air with Mike Allen, right here on Armed Radio Global.
Like a shadow in the night. My hair was standing on end. I was frozen in fear. I couldn't believe it. They really are here. Make sure you join the Alien Invasion Response Team. Tune in for the message every Monday and Friday for Straight Talk with Matt Hasley, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, only on Armed Radio Global. Be ready. They're coming.
Hey there, sexy. This is comedian Jenny Lavoie. You can catch me with the rest of the gang every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern on Night Talk with Joe Rocks, exclusively on Armed Radio Global. Mwah!
Tune in every Monday and Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Straight Talk with Matt Hasley. Live audio on TuneIn Radio and Spreaker.com. Plus live video on Ustream.tv. From the demented minds at ArmedRadioGlobal.com.
And we're back. I was talking about a homework assignment that kids were given to, and this was in Guernsey, UK. This is the island of Guernsey. So the homework assignment was given to school children. Asked 13-year-olds to write a letter to their parents explaining why they are converting to Islam. The assignment, created by religious education teacher Miss Amber Stables of the Les Beaucamp High School, asked kids to complete the letter you started planning in class to your family on how you're converting to Islam. Include your feeling on how becoming a Muslim has changed your life, how much you love your family, and hope they can accept your choice, states the assignment. Focus on how it would make you feel to tell your parents this, how they would or how could they react. Perhaps causing them the backlash that they may be caused by the assignment. A proviso was added to the text which states, please also note this is a piece of creative writing and completely fictional. You are not actually converting to Islam. It is purely to test your knowledge of what we learned this year and, well, how you can argue objectively. Although this story has been circulated on the internet forums, it has yet to receive any national press attention. In 2014, UK education system was hit by scandal when it revealed the influential Muslims had planned to launch an Islamic plot to take over schools in Birmingham. Even if this just an exercise to test people's knowledge, it is not something that would be acceptable to many parents, both for those who have religious beliefs of their own and for secular parents who may have issues with corrosive influence of Islam over non-Muslim societies. Notes Fahrenheit 211 blog. Islam appeasing teachers such as Miss Stables are pushing a view as Islam is completely divorced from reality. Imagine how it must feel for a parent or daughter to find that she is being asked to write positively about joining a religion where women are not just second-class citizens, but they are considered as property of men. As we've previously highlighted, there seems to be an emerging trend across the educational system in the West, not just to teach children about Islam and religious study, but to ask them to embrace and celebrate a belief systems that feel is regressive, intolerant, and incompatible with secular liberal society. So this is an article that came across Prison Planet. It says, last month, they reported on a school in Austria that gave 10-year-olds the homework task of learning the words to a Christian hymn with the word God substitute for the word Allah. So the incident dovetailed with a professor at the University of Vienna publishing a report warning of rapid Islamization of Austrian schools. Last December, a video emerged of Canadian children singing a refugee's welcome song, which celebrates Muhammad's arrival in Medina after he forced Christians to convert to Islam under threat of death. Parents are also angered by similar incidents in California and Minnesota, with schools forcing children to sing Muslim fighting songs about spreading the culture of Islam. If they were to do that and make them go, these kids that are at a regular public school, and made them go and say that you're going to become, this is a homework. Not separating the Muslim religion out of schools. And they get by with this, oh, well, we're teaching them the history of it. Well, how come they don't teach Christianity the history of it? Christianity was far longer than Islam. It says the thing that I have a problem with is this. I talked about this last week. And this, I'm going to cover this article again, but this came out on PamelaGeller.com, and it was an article where a high-profile imam urges Denmark to allow Muslim child brides, and they said it's part of their culture. They want to marry these kids as long as the little girl has had a period. They consider them an adult. And if they haven't, then they do is they won't have sex until they have had their period. Here in the United States, we call that being a frickin' pedophile. We put people in prison for that. And that's going to come to the United States eventually, that mindset. And most people that are in our lawmakers, as you want to call them, that are all for the immigration process and not worried about these radical Muslims. This is just, he's not a radical Muslim. He's not going to try to blow up people and do stuff like that. He's trying to do is lawfully get them to submit to them. To say, yeah, okay, it's all right to take a bride at age 7 and 8. Because that's their culture. That's what they feel. That's in their country. They treat women in their country like property. You can't leave the house. If you do leave the house, you better have an escort. You can't drive. You can't vote. You can't do this. That's what they want here. If you think Hillary Clinton is all for them coming here, but she says she's for fights for women, well, then she should be standing up for them. They treat their women like crap. There's no equality with women. I don't understand it. I said the one day my son saw, we were at Red Robin, and a guy was out with his wife, and she was in full burqa, head to toe. And my youngest son, this is probably 3-4 years ago, he's only like 6 at the time. The burqa, but where they're covered on their head and they're covered on their body, but their face is open. I'm worried that our country is going to do is eventually back down and say, oh, it's okay. You want to let your 7, 8-year-old child be taken by this? Right now, we put people in prison for that. And you think that would be okay? If our government says that's okay, there's something wrong. Have one of them argue with us. Come on and argue with me why they think that should be okay. Tell me why that makes any sense. You take a child that has no fear, hate, anything in them build up, and take and demoralize them because you want to use them as a sexual slave. That's it. And then they would take as we talked about at the beginning of the show, a little boy and sexually molest him. What's wrong with that? Well, there was a viral video. Don't want to forget to get to this, but it came out on the internet, and I wanted to do is make sure that we hit it. It's already had over almost 15 million views. And if we stood up, more of this country stood up for what is going on in this video and stood up to the evil that's out there, this country would be so much better. This is a video by Captain Higgins. Captain Higgins is from Louisiana, and he's Louisiana Sheriff's Captain. They call it known as the Cajun John Wayne. He's very outspoken. So I want you to listen to this video here and tell me what you think.
The Gremlin Street Gang is responsible for hundreds of violent crimes, murders, armed robberies, witness intimidation, burglaries, drug trafficking, extortion, and brutal beatings. We've arrested 10 of these thugs and have warrants on 7 more. Every one of these animals is most definitely armed and dangerous. Darren Carter, Aaron Carter, Travis Cooper, Cody Guidry, Jaron Diggs, Kirkland Demachet, and Jonathan Landry. We have felony warrants for your arrest. You will be hunted. You will be tracked. And if you raise your weapon to a man like me, we'll return fire with superior fire. Darren Carter, you think men like these are afraid of an uneducated, 125-pound punk like you that's never won a fair fight in your life and holds your gun sideways? Young man, I'll meet you on solid ground anytime, anywhere, light or heavy. Makes no difference to me. You won't walk away. Look at you. Men like us, son, we do dumbbell presses with weights bigger than you. And the convicts in jail, most of those men are good people who just found themselves crossed with the law. They're not evil, and they don't respect you or any punk like you. They'll toss you around like a rag doll. I encourage every citizen watching this to look into your own heart and find the American courage that conquers all evil. I implore you to listen to this message and stand up. Take back your streets. Take back your country. Come forward with information about these heathens that have terrorized your community. And for those who would use this message as a way to create false racial division in our country, take a close look behind me. Standing next to every cop is a leader of our black community. This is not about race. It's about right versus wrong. One last message to the Gremlins. You don't like the things I've told you tonight? I got one thing to say. I'm easy to find. On behalf of the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office, the Louisiana State Police, the U.S. Marshals, and every cop and law-abiding citizen from sea to shining sea, I'm Captain Clay Higgins, asking every patriot to stand up, share this video, and send a clear message to the world. We're Americans. We'd rather die on our feet than live on our knees.
You know, a lot of people don't rather die on our feet than live on our knees. That means so true. People stand up. Take back their communities. Used to be when you did something as a kid, the neighbor would take you home by your ear and take you to your parents. Nowadays, people are so afraid to get involved. They're afraid of getting shot or something like that. It's sad what our society has gone to. What you need to do is stand up. If you're a prior military, prior law enforcement, or current law enforcement, or current military, or if you're interested in helping out, don't be afraid to call stuff in. Call your local law enforcement. Call it in. Don't try to do stuff on your own, but call in. Let them know what's going on. Give them all the information. Maybe you can help them out. Maybe we can do is put a criminal behind bars. And if you learn to conceal carry or to handle a weapon, go get trained. Because you never know when you might come into an active shooter situation. I told this story one time, a long time back on the show. I was mowing my yard, and I didn't take my weapon out, and I was having to be when I was a police officer, and we were having a house built, and I was renting a house, and it was not, I don't even think it was a mile from where where the house is being built, the house that we rented. So this down in Texas, and so I said, run in and get my weapon. Nah, I just run over there real quick. So I went over to look at the house to see how far it was done. Well, they had all the sheetrocking done, but the door wasn't. There was no lock on the door. They just had a door that you could pull shut with a rope. So I pushed the door open, and there was a guy sleeping on the floor. So I kicked him in his foot. Hey, buddy, get out of my house. I looked down, and right as I looked down, he had a .380 sitting on his stomach and just woke up and grabbed it. And I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm trying to back out of this house without getting shot. You know, I mean, you don't know when trouble is going to hit. I carry, because I'm a concealed carry holder, I'm a former military, former police officer. I know how to handle a weapon. You need to do is, would you rather have it and not ever use it than need it and not have it? That's the problem. I have people are so they think if I don't even look at guns, they'll go away, or the evil will go away. No, the evil will just prey on you without you being able to defend yourself. That's the problem with our society. We have evil. And I mean real evil. Until you've seen it, I mean, it's crazy. We had, the story came out. This is, I was going to comment on this Monday, but this person that made a movie. He was a movie creator. They created a FEMA camp martial law movie. Apparently was found dead with wife and 5-year-old daughter in apparent murder-suicide. That's what they're saying. It says the screenwriter of the movie about a totalitarian takeover of our nation, 29-year-old Army veteran David Crowley, along with his wife and 5-year-old daughter, were found dead past Sunday in her Minnesota home in apparent murder-suicide. So it says the film, what is yet to be finished, was called Gray State, It featured controversial topics such as FEMA camp, martial law, RFID chips. So, but it says investigators have confirmed that they are treating the deaths as suspicious. Yeah, I've seen deaths being ruled as suicides where they have 2 gunshot wounds to their head. Well, sorry, but it's very hard for you to shoot yourself twice in the head. So, also, talking about RFID chips, how would you feel about having an RFID chip tracking your every move? You remember the movie Enemy of the State? Well, that's pretty much what it is right there. You know, they're talking about having implants within the next 2 years that everybody's going to have an RFID chip tracking them everywhere they go. You have it implanted when you're a baby, and, you know. He said, but have you ever put your driver's license in the microwave and pop it? Do you even know you're being tracked? And are you okay with that, it says. Not that it's a big deal, as many other items you carry or use every day that are bugged, i.e. debit cards, driver's license plates, cell phones, passports, you know, your car, your laptop, your key fob. Who knows what else is bugged they talk about. So, I mean, you think about it, some of these objects that you use, like your cell phone. Your cell phone is a personal computer. Most everybody take it everywhere they go. Well, that cell phone has a tracking mechanism in it, and they can tell everywhere you've been. They know your routine. They know how to target ads to you. They talk about some of these new smart TVs that actually can listen to you while you're in your house. Or listen to you while you're in your kitchen. Know what room of your house you're in just by the sounds. That's scary. I would hate to get it to that point where your TV and your fridge and your toaster and your microwave and your stove are tracking you. But, I mean, when we get the, what do you call it? You know, the EMP blast or whatever it is, and everything goes gone. Like we were watching a scary movie, I don't know, 2 or 4. I couldn't remember which one it was, but it was where they had the giant tripods come out, like War of the Worlds, and they were only had, you know, few cars that were left because the solenoids were fried and everything's electric was down. So, I mean, we'll be this fall thing? Yeah. All right, well, it's got that time of the day. We've been going for 2 hours. Hard to believe. So, make sure that report evil. Help take back this country. We need to. It's just a shame that nobody wants to stand up and help out. So, help your local law enforcement. It'll help improve it. Most of all, hey, everybody, have a great night, a great weekend, and what I like to say, most of all, and I say this every night, it's my closing thing, is be safe.